I am working on a small project that I wanted to share with you that has to do a little bit with lighting. Our current lights are okay. We ended up replacing the LED bulbs a year and a half ago, and they worked all right. I think they were a little warmer than I would have liked. Gary and I disagree on the warmth of the light in the room. I like the natural, he likes more of the warm, so we argue regularly for that.
Final round. Fight.
Since we're still here at PenPack getting a nose and chin lift on our camper, I decided it would be a good time to work on some projects, specifically looking for lights that would shine over a larger area since the existing ones are a bit more focused. Our old ceiling lights are 12 volts, so we are limited in exactly what type of lights we can use. I checked on multiple sites like Rec Pro, eTrailer, RV Upgrade Store, and Amazon to look for something that would meet what I was looking for, and these are the ones that were closest. Today I'm installing these Capetronix 12 volt LED lights to replace our existing ceiling fixtures. In typical me fashion, I decided to get all 12 instead of just trying one. Why not? Just go for it. These come in packs of 4. From a size standpoint, they looked ginormous, but they're really not as dramatic. They are a little bit larger, but they are also a lot thinner. And again, these are 12 volts, so you're basically just dealing with 2 wires that you're going to have to take off of the existing one and splice these in. These have a couple of features. So you've got a power off and power back on. I'm trying to make this as dim as possible so you can see the individual LEDs in this light. This mode is the cool mode, so you have all of the white light. This is the warm light, so all of those LEDs. And then the natural light, they do a combination of. There's another button here I can press and hold, and I can dim them, which is awesome, and it goes super bright. These get up to 15 watts. In order to turn off, that's the only weird thing about this, is you have to press and hold. Otherwise, you're gonna cycle through those things. One of the things I was particularly happy about these lights was the ability to use a switch in line without it causing any problems. The light here is connected to a switch way down here. And when I turn that on and off, that light also turns on and off, which is not always the case when it comes to these electronic switches. Sometimes it just turns them off and you can't do that. This one, you can. We're still in the process of this. Gary is pretty hesitant on this one. I think it is brightening up the room. Ignore all the junk. But that versus that level of brightness seems to make a big difference, in my opinion. And the fact that you can have the natural light during the day, and then when it's in the evening, you can actually change that to that warm light that you prefer in the evenings. I'm sitting here taking a break and looking at my lights. Maybe I need to use a tape measure more often? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to do that one again. So we've had these lights in our camper for about 3 or 4 weeks right now. In general, the brightness versus the original lights is significant. Brightness in here is just fantastic. I am really happy with that, especially in the bathroom. Having the dimmer on each of the lights is also very beneficial, although in my personal opinion it doesn't dim as low as I would like it to, but you know, that's what I've got. I do like the fact that we can change the temperature of the lights. It makes a difference depending on what you're doing. While we both like these lights, Gary has kind of come around on it. We have still seen a few problems that I want to share and for you to be aware if you choose to go down this path. With a lot of the less expensive units, you end up seeing a lot of flickering when the voltage is lower than it likes. Hopefully you can see that flickering. It does happen more on the natural where you're using all of the LEDs than just the warm or the cool. But yeah, this happens periodically. We have been seeing flickering on this, even though our voltage was still reading 13.5 volts. It is not happening all the time though, so I think it's maybe with a load and still 13.5 volts. The flickering can get a bit annoying. Usually turning off an additional light in the circuit tends to resolve that issue. I have contacted the company that I purchased it from Amazon, and their recommendation was to install a 24 volt converter.
Wait. What?
Which isn't happening. The second thing is that these switches, these buttons to turn on the switch, can be like pressed and then moved a little bit and can sometimes get caught in this housing, which means it might stay on when you don't expect it to. And I think the tolerance on these lights can make one have more of that problem than the other. Third issue, we're still trying to trace down, and I think it might be just operator error.
Operator error.
I'm gonna blame it on Gary. No, I can't do that. We have seen one light that we have, that one back there, turn on by itself for no reason. We weren't around it. And then Gary, when he tries to turn it off, it doesn't turn off. It just stays on. However, when I have gotten up maybe 10 minutes later to try to turn it off, it does turn off. So there's some weirdness. It might just be that light. We've only had that happen on one of the 12 lights that we have installed. But yeah, that's a weird one. So, well, there you have it. Ultimately, you've got good and bad with everything, and make a choice whether this is something that might be interesting for you. Hope this helps, and if it does, let us know in the comments. We really would appreciate that. Thanks.